know what? I tried, and you have to give me permission.
Yeah, I think I'm doing it on my side. Yeah, it's working here well.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one is how many, if I was in the room there right now, had to do a show of hands, how many people can tell me how many hits you had on your website last night? Probably no one, right? They don't raise their hand because you didn't have any hits on your website last night. If I stopped and quickly asked you, what's your website address? Most agents can't tell me. So only 5% of everybody you know is going to eventually land on your website in the next week, month, or maybe even a year. So you have to have a plan or a program to get people to your website because you've got some good looking tools and good functioning tools on your website. We're going to help you with that. Number two, how many people use the same agent for another or second transaction, either referral or a transaction? Now, look at that. Oh, I don't have number three in there. Number three was supposed to be, what's the percentage of consumers that said they would deal with you again? You did a great job. The answer is 86%. But what happens is only 23% of those 86 actually use you again. And when we find out why, if they forgot you're out there. And that's what happens most of the time. Number five, what percentage of clients who bought or sold can quickly remember your name 2 years after a transaction? NAR did this study about 2 years ago. And what they did was they quickly asked the consumer, who's your doctor? Who's the guy that changes your oil in your car? And who's your realtor? Only 24% of consumers could quickly come up with their agent's name 2 years after a transaction.
Oh, not in this office.
I'm sorry? Well, I hope not. But that means 76% of them can't. Down number six now. What percentage of millennials want to buy a house in the next 12 to 24 months? The answer is 69%. So you've got a lot of pent-up demand out there, and we're going to show you how to grab that and turn it into money. So when I ask agents why can't they do the best possible job of staying in touch, they say, Al, I have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I don't have all this stuff. Help me with this. So what you're seeing and what you will see in the next few minutes is a compilation of what I've been doing for 19 years. I built the first ever electronic newsletter for agents when I was running a company called eNeighborhoods down in Philadelphia. So we branched out from there, and I've been doing newsletters stuck in this side of the business ever since. Why does our system work? First thing we do is build an agent a database. When I was invited out to HannahCon 2015, we did some focus group work with agents all over the Howard Hanna footprint. And it turns out that 9 out of 10 agents didn't have a clean, usable, reliable, current database. You know what that number is today? Almost 9%. Or I'm sorry, almost 9 out of 10. Agents just don't have the wherewithal to stay up on building this website. That's why we do it for you. It's part of the program. So we build you a brand new database. We put it in a pipeline. We nurture it every 2 weeks with a newsletter that's highly branded, full of information that's usable, logical, shareable, and certainly appreciated by the readers. Then we're going to give you intelligence, 2 types of intelligence. One is our predictive metrics inside of HomeActions that's going to let you know who's warming up for a transaction. How do we know that? We know everything that gets clicked inside of this newsletter, everything that gets opened, everything that gets shared. And finally, we're going to protect your database. And here's how we do it. If Sue puts in BettyJane@AOL.com in her HomeActions database, no other agent anywhere in that office, in Howard Hanna, in the whole country, can access that email address for their HomeActions. So what we're building today is called exclusive relationship capital. These are just some of the places where we go and others to export, clean, dedupe, and hand you a professional grade database, which many of you don't have, and you're going to need it down the street for Moxie Engage and for some other programs that I know Howard Hanna's coming out with that you guys haven't even seen yet. It all revolves happening around a database. So every 2 weeks, the newsletter goes out, and we can custom design the graphics at the top. You'll see some examples of that. And then what we do is we sit back and we watch who's clicking, opening, sharing. You get to see all the activity in the system. One of our most widely clicked articles is what's sold down the street. If there's one thing you could learn today, it's that everybody wants to know what's sold down the street. But they don't have time to call you, and you don't have time to call them, right? So what we do is we put this article right in your newsletter, no extra cost. Give me 10 zip codes where you want to be an expert. And when they click on their zip code, up comes what's sold from that area going back 3 months. Now, who can tell me how fresh this data is when somebody clicks on a zip code and we pull Howard Hanna data? Anybody want to tell me how soon or how fresh they think this is?
Same day.
Same day, not correct, but not close enough. Keep going.
Within the hour.
Very good. Within 15 minutes. I wouldn't prolong this any longer. But my idea is that fresh data that's on Howard Hanna's servers, we're going to put in your newsletter, and we're going to tell you when somebody, as soon as they click that green sold sign, you're going to get a text and an email. You're going to say, why do I care? Well, you should care because 40% of the people that are banging on that kind of information are warming up for a transaction. I can guarantee you that because history shows that. So again, great hyperlocal content in your newsletter leading to other what we call conversation starters. 7 out of 10 homeowning families you know right now have no idea how much equity they have in their home. So the biggest problem out there now is inventory, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, if I told you that 7 out of 10 homeowning families you know right now aren't going to put their home on the listing service because why? They don't know how much money they can get out of this house. So that's why as soon as this article gets opened, you get a text and an email. Why? Because 70% of everybody you know needs that magic number. What's my house worth? Quick CMA. Again, this is a conversation starter. Albert doesn't promise hot leads. Albert promises conversation starters. We're going to drive traffic right back to your CMA request page. Then we're going to talk about a social media game plan. There's one throughout the whole system. You'll never run out of good content. We have over 1,200 articles that you could take right to social media in about 8 seconds it takes to post an article, or we could bring it right into your newsletter. Again, great hyperlocal relevant content. We also have a section just for Howard Hanna agents. And what we mean by that is when you come into your HomeActions control panel, your dashboard, you can go and literally click and drag articles right into your newsletter that are written by Howard Hanna's marketing department. So we take all this new blog content that they generate every week, and we make it so easy for you to share either in your newsletter or on your social media. If you're shooting any iPhone video, any YouTube video, we could take that, burn it right into the newsletter, of course, tell you who opened it up and watched the video. For anybody that's using the buy side, okay, what we've got is the ability to promote buy side. And if you're not using buy side, that's okay. If you are, we're going to drive more traffic to your buy side page. Why? Because we're going to educate your readers of your newsletter why they want to deal with a buy side realtor, which just happens to be you. So what we're going to do is tell them the merits of dealing with an agent that's a buy side agent. On the left-hand side there, you see that red Q&A? I have to let in Eileen Fitzgerald's coming back in. Okay. So that's how we promote buy side for you. You see that Q&A article? That's what we take. We take your neighborhood news reports and we burn them right into the newsletter. You all know that you have to have a good zip code for the recipient of your neighborhood news. And I know agents aren't good at collecting email addresses. They're really not good at collecting zip codes. So what we do is we build this article and we say, I believe it's on this next one here. No, I put it all on one slide. As soon as they click on the red Q&A, a bunch of zip codes are going to pop open. When they click on the zip code, they're going to go right to your neighborhood news report for their zip code. That's the important thing. You don't want to give them a wrong zip code because they'll get the wrong report and think you're crazy. So we handle buy side, we handle what's sold down the street, we handle neighborhood news. Now, if you want to, we could bring in your in-office loan officer and have him on every page be a resource for refinancing questions, for credit questions. We want to show, off that you guys have core services, mortgage being one of them. And then boom, if you want to put your picture of your loan officer on your newsletter, we'll do that for free. And of course, you'll be able to see who clicks off the newsletter into his website or his page or his email form. Okay, so we help you with the tools you have to get out there because tools that aren't recognized by the consumer aren't any good. Now, if you're using the new personal app, I don't know how many out there are, but this is down in Virginia Beach. A lot of the agents are using it. So we burn that right into the newsletter. And of course, we're going to tell you who clicked. And if they didn't download your app link, maybe something happened. But you know that because they opened this article. Okay, so again, we're tracking everything. The metrics are unbelievable. If they're going to help you isolate your database, who you should be talking to next. This program we came out with about 4 weeks ago. Every agent loves to improve their public relations scores, right, with the community. Well, look at this one. On the left-hand side there, you'll see the Hometown Small Business Showcase. Tom Kunmiller, I think, has about 1,800 contacts in his database that see this page every 2 weeks. Of course, new small businesses every 2 weeks. So here's Tom promoting Main Street America, all the small mom and pop shops that he frequents, that he knows, he wants to support them. So he's getting feedback and emails from readers of the newsletter. Hey, Tom, that's nice of you to do that. Okay. Tom, this doesn't cost Tom anything. We build this whole page. Tom just has to tell us what small businesses he wants to promote. So as you can see so far, I hope, this is not chicken pot pie recipes and the typical moving day fluff that agents send out. That's called a real estate newsletter. What we are is home ownership. There's 500 Howard Hanna agents doing exactly what I'm showing you today in these slides. And we're delivering about 600,000 emails every launch exclusively for Howard Hanna agents. Now, after the newsletter gets sent out, we're going to show you everything about who's opening, clicking, and sharing. This screen is going to tell you one important attribute of our system. Half of your readers are going to open your newsletter multiple times. We know that because we send it early in the morning. Everything is tracked. We know what they're opening, clicking, and sharing. So do you. And they're going to open your newsletter multiple times because they don't want to read it all right now. But they really want to know what articles that we put in for them resonated well with their readers. So boom, boom, boom. Look at the middle arrow there. 28 people wanted to know what sold down the street. Remember before I told you 40% of those 28 are actively researching right now? Fishing, didn't call a realtor yet or a mortgage guy, just fishing around, looking at neighborhoods. We're going to tell you who those 40% are because we know what they did, when they did it, and how they did it. For those of you using Moxie Engage, which Sue, I hope is everybody, right?
Right.
Okay, so we are integrated with Moxie Engage, and what that means is every morning at 2:30, all the contacts that are in Moxie Engage can, if we flip the switch on for you, automatically go over and get nurtured in HomeActions. All your contacts in HomeActions are going to come back to Moxie Engage. So you're going to have a synchronized database, and that's important to have these days. So everybody's getting nurtured, everybody's getting looked after, everybody's in your Moxie Engage. Now, I sent everybody before, about 2 hours ago, what we call a neighborhood 360 report. What we're seeing is lots of defection from agent websites. This is all over the country. It's not just Howard Hanna. People going to Zillow and never coming back. Why? Because Zillow tells them that they have everything. You don't need realtors anymore. They're taking ads out in Arizona right now saying, you don't need realtors anymore. You don't have to pay that high commission. Come to Zillow, okay? And we don't think they're going to stop, until they come east. So the idea is you have to compete with Zillow. So what we did was we found out all the reasons why people run to Zillow. We built this widget, which is a story, an article inside your newsletter. When they click on it, they have access to 150 million street addresses. Now, Sue, how many street addresses do you think are out there in the country? It's on the screen. It's on the screen. How many million, Sue?
Billions.
How about my screen's up here blocking it. Sorry. Now how many, Sue?
150 million.
Very good. There aren't any more than that out there. So you literally know everything about every house and every neighborhood around that house. And we sent you a report on this specific address a little while ago. If you didn't get one, you can text me later on and I'll send it to you. But it's a cool report. When somebody asks, hey, Sue, how's the neighborhood? What do you always say? Well, it's nice. This is factual evidence of what's going on because today people are picking communities first, neighborhoods first, then they find a house in that neighborhood. So you're going to be knowledgeable about every neighborhood in the country. And I'm not exaggerating when you open up that report. We also have the Neighborhood Navigator. If you don't want to use the buy side, you can use our AVM. We're going to give them a value range. And this is the core logic value range, the most accurate one in the country. And they have to tell us on the right there why they want the report. So you're getting oodles and oodles of intelligence on what's going on inside of your database. You can't beat this kind of conversation starter. When somebody says, hey, hit me with your best shot. What's my house worth? You're going to know that immediately. Okay, now, this is something that came out 3 weeks ago. Only 5 Howard Hanna agents or offices have seen this. It's called Lead Scoring 360. This is artificial intelligence that's going to help you put a spotlight on the segment of your database that's warming up for a transaction in the next 3 to 6 months. Artificial intelligence, what we're going to do every night is take all of the email addresses you have in the HomeActions system. There's a little bit, there's a upcharge for this a little bit, but we're going to give you your first 100 trial for free. We could talk about that in a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to take all the email addresses that we found for you, that we put in the system, we cleaned up, and we're going to bounce them against almost 1,000 predictive databases, government sites, spreadsheets, social sites, everywhere that an email address is being used. And you're going to say, well, how does that help me? Well, Mrs. Jones, let's just say her email address is mrsjones@aol.com. When she's out on the internet doing all this searching and buying stuff and signing up for stuff, she's using her email address. And the artificial intelligence says if her email address was found on this site, this site, this site, this site, this site, she's warming up for a transaction. And how do we know that is? We've gone back in the past. And when people buy houses, we've seen 6 months before that where they've been logging in, what they've been doing. We have a database of clients that have dumpsters in their driveway, okay? We have a database of people that bought 2 SUVs in the last month. Now, what does that mean? Something happened in their life, good or bad, that they were able to afford 2 SUVs. So what we're going to do is actually score your clients on a range from 18 to 97. Anything more than, in this pink zone, anything more than 80, I'm going to tell you with 70% assurance, confidence, that these people are going to be buying or selling a house in the next 3 to 6 months because we know where they've been on the internet, okay? So when somebody buys expensive jewelry, you need the email address for the insurance policy, right? That's all picked up. We go to these predictive websites and we say, is this email address been visiting this site? Yeah, we pick up MLS searches and little things like that, and neighborhood information searches. They're using their email address, right? So we collect all that and we come back and we say, hey, Sue, you want to pay attention to these people. These are above 80. These people are researching right now because we know where they've been. We know what they're doing. So wrap that up with what we're going to tell you about who opened what in your HomeActions newsletter. And you have intelligence on everybody in your sphere of influence. Fresh stuff. These scores change every day. You know how often we score all these email addresses? Every morning. Okay? We're going to give you the first 100 for free. And what I mean by that is we're going to take, if you subscribe to HomeActions, and if you want to, we'll take your first 100 contacts randomly in your database and we'll score them, and you'll be able to, in 36 hours, pick up the phone and have a conversation with these people, knowing what you know about them. Now, you wouldn't say, hey, Sue, I see you're a 96. You know, that doesn't make any sense to them. You know a 96 is about as far as you can go before somebody's actually buying or selling the house. Because what we've done is all these months before that, we've been researching where the email address is used. Guys, there's nothing like this anywhere in the real estate industry right now. RE/MAX has a company they bought called First IO. It's exclusive to RE/MAX. Keller Williams tried to buy that company, and so did some other large companies. They couldn't do it. RE/MAX paid the highest price. I'm competing now for the agents that aren't in RE/MAX, and I'm competing with agents that are in Howard Hanna, because once we merge all of this information is seen every day in your HomeActions control panel. We're also talking to Moxie Engage. I have to let Christine Diamond in. Hi, Christine, how are you? So what we're thinking about doing now is, actually, I think I might have added a slide here. Yeah, take all your scoring on all the people in your HomeActions database and put it in Moxie Engage. So when you're talking to one of your Moxie clients, you know they're an 18 or a 95. I showed this the other day to Moxie. They went crazy about how cool this idea is, because you're going to want to go into your Moxie every day and see the new scores. When somebody jumps from a 70 to an 85, you're going to get a text and an email letting you know that something's going on in their life. You don't have to know exactly what it is. Just trust the artificial intelligence. So wrap all that up, put this into a package, build me a brand new database, everything that we want to do for you, show you the return on investment, okay? I can't tell you how many houses you're going to sell this year because you have HomeActions. But I'm going to tell you the return on investment comes from a dozen different places. And if all this stuff doesn't work for you, you know what? You cancel, you walk away, I give you your money back, I give you your database back. I don't need you going back to Sue and say, hey, Sue, Albert from Scranton ripped us off here, okay? We wouldn't be on this call right now. I have personally visited over 100 Howard Hanna offices, okay? I know how you guys operate. I know what you're good at, and I know for the most part what you're not good at. Outreach, content, database, artificial intelligence. I don't think anybody in there, sometimes I don't understand this stuff, okay? And I run the company. I just know that my programmers know what they're doing, thankfully. So at the end of the day, we know what to send. We know when to send it. We know how to send it. Create these conversation starters because that's what you guys need. Now, there's 2 ways to subscribe to our program, okay? And Sue's order to me the other day was, our agents don't pay setup fees. So I said, well, that's what it costs. We have a lot of money tied up in getting you up and running on the program. So we figured out a way to wipe out the $99 setup fee, okay? So Sue came.
Good job. Good job.
She drives a tough bargain, let me tell you. She wasn't, I wouldn't say she's an extortionist. I'm not going to say that. So what happened, the monthly plan is left this way then. $60 for the first month, $60 for as many months as you want. And I'm going to send everybody a order form with all this information on it. So $60 per month, that costs $720 a year. It has to work for you in the first month or you get all your money back. Month 7, you want to cancel, walk away, no problem. So that's $60 per month for as many months as you want. Mix that up with our quarterly plan, and you're going to see how we're going to save you a quick $120 because here's what we want you to think about. Join today at $60. That's your maximum out-of-pocket expense, okay, which you get back if you don't like it. At the end of this first month, move to the quarterly plan when I've already proved to you that this program works because I'm going to take you under my wing as president of the company to make sure this thing works. Because for every happy agent we have in Howard Hanna, they spread the word to 2 other agents, okay? That's where our real money is, and this thing going viral. So what we ask you to do is pay $60 for the first month and then switch over to the $150. The $150 every 3 months comes out to $50 per month. So you're saving $10 per month there. Remember this, every email address we put in the system is exclusive to you. No other agent that grabs this first mover advantage or early adopter advantage is going to be able to take your database. This is why you don't want to be the 20th agent in your office using this because you're going to have a chunk of your email addresses are already gone. So email exclusivity is very important. I don't want a consumer getting 5 newsletters from 5 different agents all over the town. That doesn't help anybody. So this is the quarterly plan, and at the end we call it the SMART plan. Sign up for $60. And then what happens is at the end of the month, which is 2 launches of your newsletter. Now, I'm not saying you're going to sell a house in 2 months, but you're going to get an amazing amount of feedback and intelligence from your database simply because we designed this thing properly. We know how to keep you front and center, how to get and stay top of mind because you're drilling all these resources, hyper-local resources into the house every 2 weeks. No other agent is. Why? Because your email addresses are exclusive. So my text number is at the bottom there. Many agents right now, I think a few on this call will say to themselves, hey, I probably have 1,000 or 200, or 1,200 email addresses. I want to get those in before everybody else. So all you have to do is text me and say, Al, I want to do this. And I'll call you back later on after this meeting. We'll get your database going. We'll go into Engage. We'll go into eContacts. We'll go everywhere you have contacts. Export them all and clean them up. There isn't.
Al,
yeah, go ahead, Sue.
last time you were here, you sat in the office with people and actually went into all those sites. Do
Right.
you do that
We
with
do it remotely. I do that with the agent on the phone.
Okay. And hey, everybody, he goes into all your sites and takes all your contacts and merges them so that everyone's getting this newsletter.
Right. And most agents, Sue, don't know how many contacts they have in Engage because they haven't gone in there.
Yeah, that's
Well,
a huge value just doing that. That's
Right. Because many agents only put in the contacts that come out of eContacts into Engage. What we're going to do for you on day one is after we build this big database, we can manually put that into Engage for you. Okay. And you're going to be proud of what you're doing inside of Engage now. Why? Because you have 825 contacts in there. And they're, they're getting nurtured with HomeActions every 2 weeks.
Is there a limit to the number you can put in?
No, sir. Don't go and buy a list because we'll throw you out of the club. We don't allow purchase lists. but I have no problems with 5, 6, 7,000 email addresses. We have agents with 8, 9, 10,000 email addresses.
Okay.
That's why we have such a large number of email addresses locked up for Howard Hanna agents. Why? Because we're not going down the street to your Keller Williams, Century 21, or Coldwell Banker office. That's my deal with Howard Hanna. Once we visit an office by Zoom or physically visit, we don't go back to those other companies. Now, can an agent 3 months from now buy it if they're in Howard Hanna? Yeah, but we're not going to do any promos. They're not going to get a better deal. The deal that Sue had me put up on the screen here is the best deal that a Howard Hanna office has ever had, right? Because we know this works. So that's what Sue wants to get your database built in and protected, because you know what? If everybody sells just 2 more houses, everybody on this call wins, right? That's what we're all about. Next question, please. Any
There
other
are
questions?
agents that are already on this, and they're curious about these 100 contacts scored.
Okay, Liz Manning just chimed in. She's in. Okay. So Liz gets the call first, and we're going to go build Liz's database today. So don't feel like you're going to lose all your contacts if you don't sign up today. You're going to lose a couple, and we're going to tell you who they are. Because when we put your database in, we're going to tell you everybody that's got a good email address. We took out the non-human ones. And what do we mean by that? Info at Macy's department store, okay? We don't need to send them a newsletter. So the idea is you get this fresh list and we start building it this afternoon, because I've got a lot of time this afternoon other than 2 more Zooms for Howard Hanna offices. And then what we're going to do in one day is once we get that database in and settled, we're going to score it with the artificial intelligence. And if that doesn't get you excited about focusing on the segment of your database that could put money in your pocket, then I didn't do my job. And I've been doing this for a while. That artificial intelligence stuff is cool, but I'm going to prove to you that it works before we ask you to pay for it. And probably 250 contacts scoring every day would be probably about $20 a month. But you're not going to pay the 20 until you get the value out of the free trial, if you see what I mean. Because this is so far-fetched for some agents and our vendors to comprehend it. Go ahead, Sue.
Well, it's a great newsletter, and it's very hands-free.
Yeah, we do it all for you because you guys don't have the time to do it.
Right.
And if 50% of our agents set it and forget it. They don't want to deal with any of this stuff, bringing in listings or just solds or testimonials or whatever you have. We'll do all that for you. And Sue, I noticed on the Moxie Impress, we have a system built in here where within 3 hours of the Find It First listing getting into the Howard Hanna system, you guys are just calling it now Coming Soon, right? But it used to be called Find It First.
Right.
So back when it was Find It First, we built a system. So all an agent has to do is tell us no, it's not on the MLS. Tell us the address of this brand new listing, and we will go and build a flyer and throw it out to everybody in your database in under 3 hours, no charge. We already have that built. We know, and one of our partners that we work this program with, we know about every listing that goes into the Howard Hanna listing system, okay? So within 3 hours, we can build something and blast it out to all your consumers. Use that as a marketing tool to say, hey, Mr. Home Seller, if I get the listing to sell your house, here's how we're going to do it. I've got buy side, I've got people that already want to buy your house with your number of bedrooms in your part of town for your money. That is something that no other agent out there can say, because they don't have buy side. We're going to get you more buy side traffic to your website. Next question, please. Does anybody have any questions about the pricing, terms, conditions? You have to be 100% satisfied in what we're buying, what we're selling to you, or you get your $60 back. So this is not even at risk $60. It's just that's what it's going to cost because we dropped the 99 setup fee. So the idea on the smart plan is help you get up and running, build your database. If you walk away, you keep your database. We don't own your database. Howard Hanna has no idea how many contacts you have or who they are. There's no big brother here. We wouldn't allow that. They just want you building the largest database of contacts you can get your hands on. Why? Because eventually somebody else is going to get them. And it will
Well, it's going to help you guys. So, I mean, this is like a no-brainer to get all of your things pulled together in one place. You don't even know some of them you have, and he'll go in and he'll pull from everywhere.
Yeah, the average agent, Sue, using Gmail has 318 contacts right there.
Right.
We get them because everybody that emailed you in Gmail or you have ever emailed is a contact. Okay? We go get them, clean them up, tell you which ones are good, build that database for you. Because if you don't have a database going forward, you're still going to be on pencil and paper. And that's what we're going to do starting for you today. So this work, yeah, go ahead.
Take a deep breath real quick here.
Sorry about that. I'm only allotted a few minutes with you guys. Go ahead.
For those of us that have been on the program since you first came to us,
Yeah.
is there additional fees for this?
No.
So it's already built into what I'm paying?
Everything I showed you would bring it in your articles, bring it in this, your free 100 scores on the artificial intelligence stuff. You don't pay a nickel more. And to be honest, you could tell the crowd, you've never paid extra other than what you're paying for in your dues.
No, I've been loving it.
Right. I don't even know who's speaking here. Who is this?
It happens to be Sue's husband, an agent.
Oh, sorry for your loss. All right. So, Mark, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I sent you 2 emails about turning on that artificial scoring. You could be the first one in the office with the scoring.
Very good.
And remember, you can't score another agent's database, right? Because it's in and protected. So there's 2 reasons to get your database built and protected. 1, somebody else is going to grab them, so you may as well grab them. And 2, no one's ever going to be able to score those email addresses because they're in your HomeActions. And we hold that quite tightly, that constitution we have. Nobody attacks your database once it's in our system. So Mark, give me a call later on. You've got my number and a couple emails.
Okay.
Next question, please. Does anybody see some negatives here, like this, why this wouldn't work, or you think homeowners are getting too much email? And that's something we have to worry about, right? So why do we send it every 2 weeks? Because it works. We used to send it every month, and then we did a survey group or a survey with our readers, and we said, would you want this every 2 weeks? And they said, as long as the news is new every 2 weeks, no problem. Our unsubscribe rate, which no one asked about, 4.9%. So 5 out of every 100 are going to unsubscribe. That's okay. We're going to send you an email. We lock them up. They never get something from you again. Okay. So our unsubscribe rate when we were going monthly is the same as right now when we're every 2 weeks. But you're getting twice the impressions and twice the value and twice everything else. And we know that's the optimum time to be hitting people is every 2 weeks. Once a month, you can't create top of mind awareness by hitting somebody once a month. Trust me on that one. Again, as I told you, I've been doing this 19 years. Next question, please. So let me put my text number down at the bottom there. I have to move some of this stuff if you want to see it. 570-510-3507. That $99 waiving of the setup fee expires at the end of the week. Okay, so Sue's contract with me on that issue certainly goes away by Friday afternoon. So if you think that 60 is too much, again, I didn't do my job very well of explaining to you all the value. But you only pay the 60 if you enjoy what I deliver for you, because I don't rip off agents. Again, if I did, we wouldn't be here. So your 60 bucks gets you in the game, gets your database built, walk away, get your 60 bucks back. We just put it back on your credit card is what we do. So I'm going to email everybody an order form, and there's some details in there. You can call me and we could take the order over the phone. It only takes but 60 seconds for a credit card. We have all your contact information. Sue sent that to me. So I'm going to send everybody a 3-page order form. There's only 1 page you need to fill out. It takes about 2 minutes. Fax it in, email, scan it, or just call me and say, Al, here's my credit card, because I want to get this thing going before everybody else does. So I don't mean to scare you that all the email addresses are going to be gone. So I don't even know if, who was it who just signed up? Liz Manning has 50 million email addresses in her database. Well, she doesn't, okay? So the idea is that we're going to start working on this process today. When you woke up this morning, you had no idea this plan was out there, right? And here I am at the end of the day going to start logging into all these areas with you and build that database. Next question, please.
Good.
All right. So
I'm glad you're emailing it out. That's good.
Yeah.
That'll
So
help.
the idea is, and what's his name? I got to give what's his name get his home address for the $100 Visa gift card.
Oh,
Dan Weist.
Yeah,
yeah.
Dan, give me a call later on at this number. I need your street address. We don't send
Okay.
it to the office. We have to send it to a residence.
Sounds good.
But it's
I will.
$100.
Darn it. Hey, Dan, we decided before you were on that, that you have to buy like ice cream or pizza for the office.
Sounds like a plan.
And if you, well, and once we get back up to normal, when we start coming in the offices, I'll come in and buy lunch for everybody too. And we'll have a intensive training session. But this thing is going to work for you. I think at the end of the day, everybody on the call knows that this is the kind of stuff that consumers like. Information that helps them manage their home. Hyper local, relevant, and fresh. That's our whole mantra right there. Okay, well, I'm going to take off then. There's my phone number and my email address. And anybody wants to get started on this afternoon, boom, we're ready to do it. I know I talk a lot very fast. I'm from Pennsylvania, but Sue said I had 20 minutes, and I think I went to 23. But
I think you did good. Thank you very much for coming on today.
yeah, thanks again,
Thanks
ladies and
everybody
gentlemen, your
for
time.
signing out and signing back on. That all worked.
Yeah, Sue, I'll keep you in touch as to who's signing up, okay?
Okay, great.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a
Have a good day,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
I have to give you back your sharing now, Sue. Are you done?
I'm done.
All
Yep.
right, stop share. You got it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Sue.
Yeah.
What if we already have people signed up with neighborhood news?
Yeah.
Is that overkill? You know, too many emails coming from us that
This
can
is
be.
completely different. This is like a newsletter, and that's, you know, more of a local. So this has got those articles that people want to like open up and read, and it's got, you know, different kinds of benefits.
Sue, do you want me to chime in here?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, the difference with neighborhood news is you can turn neighborhood news off. It doesn't have to go out to all the clients that you have and engage. Where we differ is we're going to prove to you who opened your neighborhood news 5 minutes ago because the article is tracked. Okay, so you're going to be able to know that the Joneses are warming up. They're looking at this neighborhood report. If you sent them the neighborhood news out of Engage, you'd have to go into every client and find out if they opened up the newsletter, the neighborhood news. So we're going to get you more eyeballs on it. I'm not saying you should turn it off. You don't have to have this article in the HomeActions if you don't want to. But people are going to see it every 2 weeks as opposed to once a month when you send it out of Moxie Engage. In fact, Moxie's very jealous of the way we built that article because they're like, well, wow, you're right. You're going to get more eyeballs on it because everybody in your HomeActions will get it versus you might have 50 people. How many people do you have in your Engage?
About 800.
800, very good. And you have 800 zip codes for everybody?
I don't know if I have all the zip codes or not, but yeah.
Okay, I would love you to tell me how, because I have not seen an agent that has 800. I've seen agents with 800 contacts in Moxie, but they have a terrible time with the zip codes.
Yeah,
So
she's
they're just
pretty
guessing
good.
zip codes.
She's pretty organized.
Yeah, well, no, I'd like to see that. Hopefully I can help you. But so you don't have to send them on. The neighborhood news has an on-off switch, and you could try ours out and then go back to theirs if you want. But it's the same data. We're just going to get more eyeballs on it, and we're going to tell you exactly who engaged with it because you don't have time to go through everybody in your 800 list to see who opened up your neighborhood news. So that was maybe 2 or 3 days ago that was sent out. We're going to tell you immediately when somebody clicked on your neighborhood news. I hope that answered your question.
Mary Kate has a question.
Hey, Mary Kay, go ahead, please.
Hi, I just wanted to know, I mean, is this coming directly from our Howard Hanna email? And if someone unsubscribes and blocks it, does that mean we cannot email them about anything else ever?
Yes, no, yes. The email comes from us, but it looks like it comes from you with your name and your Howard Hanna email address. If they were to report us as spam or try to cause trouble, that's on us, not you, because you're not sending the newsletter. Okay? So we know how to get around spam filters. We know how to minimize the spam complaints. And so, yes, the article, when somebody opens up their email, it comes from you and the subject line, and we could change the subject line every couple of weeks if you want. But it looks like it's yours, right? That's what we want to accomplish here. You went out of your way to write this content, to deliver these widgets. Nobody else can get them. So that's what we try to portray you as a homeowner advocate is what it comes down to, Mary Kate. And you don't have time to do it, so that's what we're here for. So again,
Like if they blocked her newsletter, they
that would
wouldn't
be blocking us then.
They'd be blocking you. There you go, Mary.
And we don't have blocking issues because we're whitelisted on all the big ISPs. They know who we are.
Okay, thank you.
Now, Mary Kate, if they put in a filter into their email system, which most people wouldn't know how to do, I don't want any mail with Mary Kate's name on it. That's how some of these filters actually work. You might get 1 out of 1,000 that's crazy like that. But I'm telling you, it's not a problem. We love getting, the highest throughput of mail into the inbox because we know how to deliver mail. We know how Gmail wants to work with us. When we send 750,000 emails to Gmail, they don't put us through their first and second round spam filters. We get right into the inbox. Why? Because we're sending good email. It's not drugs. It's not porn. It's, it's good third-party information, and we're sending it on your behalf. And that's why we're able to get such high throughput, in the high 90s, high 98s, 99s.
Thank you.
Any other questions, please? I know we're in the round 2 here, but I heard that one question coming in from Mary Kate. Eileen, you got any questions? You're still there? She's logged in twice.
Yeah.
That's all right. Okay, so
her daughter's on too.
Pardon me?
It's her and her daughter.
Oh, okay. A team, yeah. And our stuff works for teams too. There's no extra cost. Okay, we do twice the work because we're going to build 2 databases, right? But we don't charge the team twice the price. So that's why this works with teams also. And we just take a team picture, and it's the same kind of account. It really doesn't cost us that much more, but we don't charge any more for it. Bring in the team.
That's nice.
I've got some Howard Hanna teams with 4 or 5 agents on it. And they're loving this, right? Because everybody has their own destiny, control panel. Okay, that's it then. Look forward to your calls, your text, whatever. And we'll see you down the road somewhere unless somebody's got another question. This is what I do. No? All right.
Thanks, Al.
Hey, is that Mark Hustek? Is he okay? Is he good? Is he a good agent?
I keep him in line.
Yeah? All right. 'Cause I could teach him a thing or two. I know he's older than
You
I
need
am.
to.
All right. Well, thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time. And just give me a text and we'll get this thing going if you got some more questions.
Thanks.
One more thing.